It was May 1940, and the Wehrmacht had found stunning success in their attack across the Low Countries, defeated much of the French army's armor at the battles of Sedan and Montcornet, and was engaged in Operation Sickle Cut, swinging towards the Channel coast in an effort to cut the Allied front and isolate British, French, and Belgian armies fighting in the north. On the extreme edge of the German advance was the German 7th Panzer Division, under the command of a rising star in the German army, General Erwin Rommel. On May 21st, the 7th was ordered to wheel around the French city of Arras to seize river crossings over the Scarpe River, bypassing the British garrison at Arras. Having found great success in the campaign so far, Rommel decided on speed. His panzers ran ahead of his infantry, and his flank was exposed. At the same time, the Allies had planned a counterattack under Major General Harold Franklin, using a group that was then called Frank Force. The Allied response at the time was ill-coordinated, and there is some disagreement over the purpose of the counterattack. However, the original goal was rather limited, to relieve the pressure on the garrison at Arras. The attack would include one of the most concentrated attacks by tanks of the British Expeditionary Force in the Battle for France. The force included 58 Mark I and 16 Mark II infantry tanks. It appears that the Allies were operating with limited intelligence, and there is no evidence that they were aware of the particularly vulnerable position of the 7th Panzer Division. But the attack had hit between the 7th Panzer's armor and infantry columns, leaving the infantry without armor on a weak flank where they were unsupported. But Rommel did have a weapon that could counter the British armor, the 8.8 centimeter Flak 18. Unlike many anti-aircraft guns, the 88 could be lowered beyond horizontal and was provided with both armor-piercing and high-explosive anti-tank or heat ammunition, allowing it to operate both as a fearsome anti-aircraft and an anti-tank weapon. At Arras, Rommel was able to organize a second line of defense, centered on his 88s. As the British tanks on the offensive entered open terrain, the heavy guns opened up. Without a clear objective, and not realizing the possibility of achieving a counter-encirclement, Franklin withdrew. His armor was then attacked by German dive bombers while retreating. Around 50 of the 74 tanks used in the attack were destroyed. There's been much discussion about the Battle of Arras, which so shocked the Germans that it played a major role in the German strategic pause that allowed the Allies to fortify Dunkirk beaches and evacuate the BEF, the miracle at Dunkirk. But the potential had been much larger. The 88 had prevented a disaster for the German army.